Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Just days from freedom, white boy Rick Wershey is planning a return to Metro Detroit.
Governor Whitmer taking action, making it tougher for businesses to look the other way when customers refuse to wear masks. Glad you're with us for Local 4 News at 6. Another Friday, another executive order on masks from the governor.
This one outlines some rules for businesses, public safety officers, and polling places. The first part says businesses cannot simply assume unmasked customers have a medical condition. This measure seemingly in response to some businesses posting signs to that effect. Unmasked customers must be asked for a verbal explanation, which will suffice.
Secondly, public safety officers will be required to wear a face covering unless it seriously interferes with their ability to do their jobs. And finally, the order says masks are encouraged but not required in polling places when a person is voting. We've got the primary coming up on August 4th.
And here's a look at today's COVID-19 data from the state. The number on the far right is today's reported case count of 660. That's up slightly from yesterday. Sadly, we did lose another 7 Michiganders to the virus.
One of the most important data points we have is the 7-day average of new cases, and right now the state is averaging 601 new cases per day over those 7 days.
And this is one of the ways our COVID-19 data page at clickondetroit.com goes beyond the daily numbers of cases and deaths in Michigan. Just click on the very top left of any page of clickondetroit.com and select COVID-19 data from the list, and that will take you to a page filled with information, including breakdowns by categories like city, zip code, race, and ethnicity.
Other news at 6, Rick Wershey, of course better known as White Boy Rick, is about to experience real freedom for the first time since his drug arrest during the Reagan presidency. Wershey is due to be released from a halfway house in Florida, and that is going to come this Monday, we expect. Defender Sean Lay has a look at what Wershey has planned when he returns to Metro Detroit. Sean?
Rick Wershey's attorney just revealing to the Local 4 defenders that he expects Wershey to come right back here to Metro Detroit once he is released on Monday, the same area where Wershey says he got caught up, was set up, and was taken down.
I'm not White Boy Rick. I'm Rick. I'm not the person I was made out to be.
Rick Wershey nailed with a life sentence for drug dealing when he was just 17 after nearly 30 years behind bars.
He's coming home.
Tears from his family when he was finally freed from that sentence in June 2017. Monday, Wershey will be freed again, this time in Florida, for his role in a stolen car scheme. Wershey's attorney, Ralph Musilli, just spoke with Wershey.
Well, he's anxious to get home. His head is in a good place. He's got everything in order. He's got a good support group back here. And I think he's ready to finally get back into the real world.
Musilli is making it clear Wershey is coming back to Metro Detroit, but not to the city of Detroit, where, as an 8th grader, he helped lead the feds to corrupt police in the city. John Anthony was with the FBI at the time. Now he says he thanked the man known as White Boy Rick.
One thing, I would shake his hand and thank him and buy him a cup of coffee. I think he had done a great service to this community, to the Detroit community, in ferreting out corruption within the police department.
Monday, when Wershey walks free, his lawyer says it will look like this.
Friends are going to be there. I don't anticipate a lot of people being there. It's going to be just quiet.
Keep in mind the man known as White Boy Rick is only 51 years old. His attorney tells me he expects him to come back to the area to have a job, to have a lot of living yet to do quietly. In Detroit, Sean Lay, Local 4 Defenders.
All right, Sean, Wershey was the subject of Season 2 of our podcast, Shattered. It includes 20 exclusive interviews, including with the FBI agent who worked with White Boy Rick when he was just 14 years old. You can find Shattered wherever you download your podcasts, and you can find more on Rick Wershey's life and legal battles on the Defenders page at clickondetroit.com.
Blistering heat has returned, and it looks like we're up for a hot weekend in store.
Andrew is in for Ben with a look at our weather as we head into Friday night. Andrew?
And Karen and Devin, you're exactly right. Higher temperatures this weekend, back to around 90 or a bit more. But for now, we're in the 80s. So still quite warm out there as we go through Friday evening. And humidity pretty much on the comfortable to tolerable side, with temperatures mostly in the low and middle 80s. 84 for our friends over in Ann Arbor and in Howell. 85 to 87 degrees here in Detroit and also in Pontiac. 85 over at Metro Airport, a wind out of the southwest keeping us very warm, but dew points are in the low 60s and 50s. Heat index just 1 degree higher than the actual temperature, but heat indices get ready for them to be in the middle and even upper 90s on both Saturday and Sunday. So enjoy this evening while you can. A breeze out of the southwest at around 4 to 9 miles per hour in the backyard. Temperatures will be in the low 80s, around 81 degrees. There's a better chance of a shower really as we go into Sunday. Now for tomorrow, there's an air quality alert all day. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk about that chance of showers and thunderstorms as we go into your Sunday forecast and take a look at your 7-day forecast in just moments. But remember, you can track temperatures, get alerts right on your mobile device, no matter where you are. You can take weather on the go with the Local Forecasters app. It is faster, easier to use, accurate, has your future forecast, and it's free. Search WDIV in your app store.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Testing for the virus continues to be a major hurdle, with people in some states waiting in long lines only to be turned away. Even in Michigan, many are still waiting far too long for their results. Researchers are trying to help ease those challenges by building better ways to test.
QR code on your phone to the sample collection.
Researchers at Arizona State are working on a new saliva-based COVID-19 test. In addition to eliminating the need for swabs, it takes less time to process, returning results in 1 to 2 days.
What we're planning to do is have people register online with a web app that we've developed. It tells them what time to show up, and when they show up, they pull up with their car, where they will show their code on their phone, and they will be handed a tube and a straw, and then you just basically spit down the straw into the tube while you're driving through a little kind of path, and by the end of the path you just hand back the tube.
Meanwhile, scientists in Finland are developing a test that works like a breathalyzer, delivering results in just 2 minutes.
It's a lot more efficient. It's almost real time, the results. It's a lot cheaper, and it's a lot more convenient.
Nanosensors inside the breathalyzer detect different gases that our lungs produce. Over the next month, the company hopes to confirm the gases and their levels that correspond to positive COVID patients. Even if they're asymptomatic, prototypes are being tested in Africa, South America, and San Francisco. A similar technique was used in the past to develop a successful test for tuberculosis. Researchers in Australia are also working on a new type of antibody blood test. They say it can determine if someone has been previously infected in about 20 minutes and could be run on equipment already found in many labs.
We're less than 4 months away from the presidential election, and former Vice President Joe Biden's campaign is stepping up their efforts in Michigan. Grant Herm sat down one-on-one with Democratic Party Chairman Tom Perez to talk about the race and about Biden's new plan for automakers that's been getting mixed reviews so far. Grant.
The plan would mean a push for more electric cars, green energy, and manufacturing jobs here in Michigan. Now, Biden won the state's primary handily and is leading over the president in the polls. The question now, is this plan enough to get Democrats to his left on board, and could it rally conservatives who have soured on the president in recent weeks? In an exclusive interview, DNC Chairman Tom Perez touting former Vice President Joe Biden's plan for manufacturing in Michigan. The plan urges more investment in infrastructure, green energy, and more electric vehicles, like GM's new electric Hummer or Ford's all-electric Mustang.
This is a plan that's going to attract Republicans, Democrats, and independents, because what they all have in common is they want a president who will lead us. They want a president who will keep his promises.
The plan has, however, been criticized by progressive Democrats who are still uneasy about voting for an establishment Biden. And Republicans have been leery of the plan, which uses some parts of the Green New Deal. Perez is betting it won't matter to Michiganders.
Joe Biden won every county in Michigan in the Michigan primary. Michiganders know Joe Biden. They know Barack Obama. They know who saved the auto industry.
On the coronavirus, Perez praised Governor Whitmer's handling of the virus, backing her mask order and criticizing the president.
Masks are not a political statement. Masks are a public health imperative. This has been an abject failure. It didn't have to be this bad. Donald Trump didn't cause the coronavirus, but his failed leadership has contributed to needless deaths.
The president's re-election campaign dismissed Biden's plan, saying, quote, Michiganders know that President Trump's bold leadership created the strongest economy ever, and he is the only one able to lead the great American comeback. Now, there's a lot more we talked about in this conversation with DNC Chair Perez, including the state of race and policing and the coronavirus on top of the economy. That full interview can be found on clickondetroit.com. In Detroit, Grant Herms, Local 4.
All right, Grant, as for speculation about whether Governor Whitmer is still in the running to be Biden's running mate, all Perez would say is that the pick will be historic and that we can expect that decision by the end of the month.
The Michigan Unemployment Agency has been overwhelmed these past 4 months, struggling to serve a record number of people filing for benefits. Now, some unemployed people are also dealing with being victims of identity theft. Local 4 business editor Rod Maloney live this evening with a look at the double whammy these folks are facing. Rod.
Yeah, Karen, when it rains, it pours, right? You're unemployed, your health is imperiled, and you can't get through to anybody at the unemployment office to get that check you so desperately need, and then the ID thieves come a-calling, and that's what happened to this woman. Detroiter Kendra Fly's multiple sclerosis slows her down. She lost her job during the shutdown. Then she realized when it rains, it pours. Someone stole her identity.
Can't do anything, I can't go anywhere, and I'm just frustrated. So many times I tried to get through to the agency and couldn't get through. If I did get through, they hang the phone up.
So she looked up Oliver Gant with the 1,000-strong community group for help.
So we find out who was accessing her benefits. We found out the route numbers, deposit numbers, where the money is going. We found out the addresses. We found out the emails associated with the account. Everything necessary for them to be able to conclude and wrap this investigation up.
To date, they remain unaware.
I would like to see my benefits, get the code to unlock my benefits. I can't get into the system because I have to have a password from when I did years ago have unemployment, but I can't get into the system to do that. So it's locked out.
We reached out to the unemployment agency today. We did not get a call back. Instead, we were sent a statement from the director who said, quote, "It is very disheartening that these criminals are taking advantage of a global pandemic to defraud Michiganders when they need unemployment benefits the most. Michiganders who think they are a victim need to contact our agency at michigan.gov/UIA immediately to protect themselves." And yet, that's what they say they've done. Tried on the phone, tried on the internet, have had no satisfaction. And in fact, the unemployment agency said the best they can do is tell everybody to call the credit bureaus and also report the fraud to the IRS. There's more to do with this, obviously. I'm going to stay on the phone with them, see if we can't get some satisfaction for Kendra. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod. A judge denies a former doctor's request to be released from prison because of the coronavirus. Fareed Fata asked to be released because he has type 2 diabetes along with other medical conditions. A judge ruled that doesn't meet the federal requirements for release. Fata, you may recall, is serving a 45-year sentence. In 2014, he was convicted of a number of crimes, including prescribing chemo for patients who were actually cancer-free.
Just ahead, the award of a lifetime in the time of crisis.
Michigan's new Teacher of the Year talks about that bittersweet honor and reveals how he feels about returning to school this fall.